Do you have a great local service business, but sometimes feel like nobody knows about it? Hello, my name is Tim Fondrick, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of WhirLocal, where we have everything you need to market your local business online. And in today's video, I want to talk about 7 ways to drive traffic to your local website and connect with more consumers so you can grow your great local service business. But before we dive into the content, I want to invite you to subscribe, and so you can be notified when we release more videos like this all about digital marketing. So let's dive into the content today. As we've been talking about in this video series, we've been talking about the 6 C's of the buyer's journey or buyer's pipeline. And we've talked about connect, capture, communicate, convert, care, and cultivate. And I realized after doing the last video that we talked about capture points, but we really didn't talk about how to get more people to connect with your brand, how to get more people to know about your brand. And that's really where I want to cover today. Again, you may feel like you've got this great local business, but nobody knows about it. So we're going to talk about how to drive more traffic, get more eyeballs, help more people know about your business so you can grow. So let's dive into some of the ways to do that. So, but before we do that, let's talk about your website, right? So some of you have a beautiful website, and it might feel like, however, that it's out in the middle of nowhere and nobody knows about it. Imagine this house out in the middle of nowhere, looks like a beautiful home, but nobody knows how to get there, nobody knows about it, and so forth. And so what we want to do is change that and be able to give you 7 ways to drive more traffic to your website. It's kind of like, you have this beautiful house, but now you have to build roads. You have to make it easy for people to get there. And we often talk about location, location, location. Well, these are ways to get more location for your business. So the first one we want to talk about is Google Ads. And Google Ads really, it's all about buyer's intent and search keywords, right? So Google Ads are a pay-per-click model, and it really is a supply and demand type factor where, you have, if you have a lot of supply and low demand, your pricing is going to be reflective of the supply and demand in the pay-per-click model. And so really Google, let's looking at this example, I just pulled up landscaping Portland, Oregon as an example. 480 monthly searches is an estimate. Cost per click is $4.89. Now that's going to vary by industry, certainly by area of the country, etc. But Google Ads are a great way to jump out there and start getting your website, your ad, in front of consumers when they're looking, like I said, with a buyer intent. And it's really the fastest and only way to guarantee first page placement. We all get the calls. Quite frankly, we get the calls and people, hey, I want to help you get number 1 on Google. Well, first of all, it's never Google calling. And secondly, they haven't even looked at your website. Like I said, we get the calls to, hey, your Google business profile, which we'll cover next, isn't claimed, yada, yada, yada. So the real example, though, is you have to, this is the only way to guarantee it because Google's not stupid, right? So they've built this multi-billion-dollar company, and it's driven by their revenue model is Google Ads. So let's talk about the next one, and that is Google My Business. Or Google, now called Google Business Profile. I keep forgetting that. So Google Business Profile is really, it's the number 1 most important listing on the internet. And here's just a picture of ours. And it's based on things like proximity. How it's going to show up. It's based on things like proximity to the searcher, number of reviews you have, the relevance to your search, the primary category that you have. These are all pictures, all kinds of different things that impact how high your Google Business Profile ranks. And again, it's the number 1 important listing on the internet. Looking at the next thing is organic search, and these are brand or keyword searches. Now, we've long said that a brand keyword search is just as important as a keyword search. And the reason for it is somebody already knows about your brand. They're looking to connect with you. They're not looking for just a keyword. They're looking to connect with you. Then it's really important to have your website, your Google business profile all dialed in so people can find you very, very easily. But the other part of it, of course, is the keyword searches. And let's kind of talk about that a little bit. So organic search, again, this is local SEO or search engine optimization, really related to a lot of different factors, but one of them is how well you have optimized your website with what we call on-page optimization, as well as content. Most of us have heard content is king. So how well we've optimized the website, what kind of content we have on the website, and that can help you dictate how well you show up in the organic searches. So for example, for a search, web design, Salem, Oregon, which is where we are, it's one of the search terms we show up for, then you can see how this website or how our website looks in the search engines. SEO or organic search is a long game. It really is a long game. You can do a lot of SEO for 6, 9, 12 months and longer, and really without any guarantees. But if you follow good practices, then you should be able to move up in the search engines. The thing to keep in mind is that Google always changes their algorithm. And so while you may be showing up well, at one point, don't expect that to last forever, because you do have to continue to make changes and optimize your local SEO. All right, let's talk about the next one, and that is Facebook and Instagram ads. So these can be targeted or retargeting campaigns, and the targeted brand awareness can be, again, it can be cold, or maybe they've already visited your website, and so now you're bringing them back. Statistically, 98% of consumers don't take action the first time they come to the website. So you can retarget them and follow them around with ads. You can see an example ad that we're running right now. And again, it can be targeted or retargeting. You can also do things like sponsored content promotion as well to take the content. Remember the phrase, content is king. And you can take a particular blog post, for example, and promote that blog post. So that would be an example of sponsored content promotion. All right, moving on to our next way to drive traffic to your website. Let's talk about display ads. Again, display ads can be targeted or retargeting, and they look something like this. So it's basically the idea is there are thousands of websites out there that accept advertising. You can see some examples here where, again, many websites that accept advertising. And what we can do is you can place a display ad. We've got two examples on here, one for Rich Duncan Construction, another one for us, where you can place a display ad on these different websites. And it's great for either targeting cold or retargeting. It's great for building brand awareness. If you can get your logo, get people familiar with your logo, it can be great for that. And visibility and exposure. And then, of course, you want to drive people to the website. So that's how you get more people there. All right, diving into the sixth one here is social media. So we all know social media is here to stay, right? It's been a phenomenon for quite some time. Now, the reality is the reason we have to do the earlier one, Facebook and Instagram ads, is that organic reach on social media, in other words, when you're not paying, when you're just posting, the organic reach is really low. Now, there's lots of things you can do to increase your organic reach, but just keep that in mind, when you're posting on social media. But can it drive traffic? Absolutely. And we encourage, it's one of those things that you really have to do to stay on top of today's marketing efforts. So, we actually talk about what we call the turbo. These are social media things on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, even TikTok. But we use a framework that we call turbo. It's timely, uplifting, relational, business, and opportunity content. And you can see some examples here, and I think I've got another video about this. So, but this is, again, one more way that you can definitely drive traffic to your website to connect with more consumers. All right, wrapping it up, I would be remiss to not talk about WhirLocal. WhirLocal.io is our publishing platform, and really it's all about building and promoting your business in the neighborhood. And so we actually have just an example. It's a neighborhood marketing platform, and it's interactive. So what we do is we promote your business on our neighborhood, and it's interactive. We've got it's content driven, like things like reviews and articles and projects. And I'll drop the link into, for example, our Salem neighborhood, into the description. But when we publish content or you publish content, it's a great way to get people connected with your brand, get people to know about your brand, and then drive people to your website. So if you're thinking at this point, again, hey, if you're thinking I would love a way to be able to connect with more consumers and capture more people into my sales funnel, communicate, convert, care, and cultivate, and you'd like a proven system to be able to do that, I encourage you to reach out to us today. Just hit us up for a conversation. I love having conversations with local businesses. And in the meantime, I hope you just have a blessed day. So thank you very much for joining us on this video.